Urban Nights Update is next. Coming up, a new poll shows a political party taking a big dip in popularity.
We'll bring you a story with a happy ending, especially if you're a dog.
What some people will do to be the first on the block with the newest gadget.
And the place to be if you're a foodie and love fresh and local. All that and more coming up next on Urban Nights Update.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Navarro. Thanks for joining us. Isaiah Quiros is here, sitting with me, and here's what we're working on. Favorable views of the Democratic Party have hit the lowest mark in more than 25 years of polling. According to numbers from a CNN poll, only 37% of Americans have a favorable opinion of Democrats. On the other hand, 54% have an unfavorable view of the party. These low favorable ratings include core demographic groups such as non-whites and people under 35 years old.
President Trump's former foreign policy advisor Carter Page has disclosed that he told a number of his colleagues about his connections with Russians. One of these many being Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who has consistently said that he had no knowledge of any dealings with Russians. This puts additional pressure on Sessions as he has a hearing next week before the House Judiciary Committee. Page is now the second member of Trump's campaign to confirm contact with Russians during the presidential race.
Our question of the week is about the ongoing Russia investigation. As more information emerges, we ask people what their opinion is on the latest updates.
Well, I think it's great, and I hope they, continue it, and they get more indictments, and hope they can finally make the connection with Donald Trump.
I think the gut feeling of America was that they were crooked all along. So I believe that justice is being done, and the justice system does work after all, doesn't it?
I know very little about it, but I always say a quote. It kind of like came from my brain, but my outlook on life and like the days that we're living in. Don't make this like an I can't world. Make it more of a we can community.
I believe there's more evidence, and I hope that investigators do a good job. If they find wrongdoing, they prosecute the guilty.
The United States is officially the only country in the world that opposes the Paris Climate Accord. Early Tuesday, Syria announced that it would sign the agreement, which commits almost 200 countries to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. President Donald Trump said that the U.S. will withdraw from the accord unless it is renegotiated to be fair to the United States. So far, the other countries in the accord say it's impossible. The Endangered Species Act is our nation's most effective law for protecting wildlife in danger of extinction. But that all may change now as Congressman Rob Bishop of Utah announced he would like to invalidate the law due to its economic impact and need for oil drilling in areas where animals are protected. Since the Endangered Species Act was introduced, it has prevented more than 99% of listed species from going extinct. Today, more than 2,000 species are listed as endangered or threatened.
In San Francisco, an environmental issue has been resolved at the Golden Gate National Recreational Area. Initially, environmentalists and conservationists wanted to ban dogs off-leash at the site, but now there are some happy dogs there, as Kurt Stouffer reports.
Meet Decker. He's a 7-month-old golden doodle who loves long walks on the beach, digging holes, rolling around in the grass, and playing fetch with his human, Teresa Wagner. Every weekend, Teresa and her husband bring Decker to Crissy Field in the Golden Gate National Recreation Area to run, play, and enjoy life off-leash.
To have the grass and the beach where they can run on the beach, dig in the beach, and they don't have to dig holes in the ground. I know that's an annoying thing for people with backyards, so having them off-leash is awesome.
But this off-leash policy was almost a thing of the past. Controversial rule changes had been in the works for the park. But on October 19th, the Park Service announced they would be permanently ending any planned changes to the leash rules.
Personally, I do feel like there are a lot of rules in San Francisco already that require you to take a lot of steps to be a responsible dog owner that you should be doing anyway. Granted, not everyone follows the rules, but I feel like the dog community is such a friendly one, and we're definitely a group that likes to follow the rules and have a healthy relationship with our dogs and the community.
Like Teresa and Decker, Shiner and Nick Kabula understand the responsibilities of having a dog off leash in a public park.
I mean, I think it doesn't really matter where you are. It's always important as a dog owner to be responsible for your dog. I mean, it's kind of like your child. You're responsible for ultimately taking care of them and making sure they don't, you know, get in anyone's way or cause anyone any, you know, unwanted discomfort. Some people aren't as amenable to dogs as other people. So yeah, I think as an owner, it's your responsibility to make sure that your dog is well behaved and being supervised.
With no new changes in sight, it'll be up to dog owners to police themselves.
I mean, I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know if it necessarily makes sense to have like off-leash area and an on-leash area, or like a dog-friendly area and a dog-unfriendly area, but I think ultimately that still kind of comes down to the owner watching over the dog and making sure that the dog isn't getting into anything that it should be.
But what we do know is that both Decker and Shiner are good boys. In San Francisco, I'm Chris Stouffer for Urban Nights Update.
The permanent cancellation means you can now enjoy your day with your dog without need for a leash.
Facebook and Google have caved on their resistance to help identify and prosecute sex traffickers on the internet. The two social media giants were opposed to the idea due to the burdensome amount of work and content they would have to go through. At a recent congressional hearing, they finally decided to back down on their opposition because of the tweaked wording on the bill. New data from research firm Tech Insights shows that the gross margin for the iPhone X is about 67%. That makes it even more profitable per unit than the iPhone 8. A higher production cost for the new old display and the stainless steel body could contribute to a higher price. For 64 gigabytes, it costs $999, and for 265 gigabytes, it costs $1,149. Apple's Tim Cook rationalized the price and profit margin by saying, "We price to the sort of the value that we are providing."
Last week, the iPhone X came out on the market. And here in San Francisco, a lot of people spent time in lines outside of the Apple Store to get their hands on it. Alma Telenthrop has more.
The lines were long as the new iPhone X was finally released. But who are these people you hear about, camping outside the Apple Store at Union Square? Relay and David are two of those who have been waiting a long time for this new product.
I like the new features. I think it's going to have better performance than the other one, and it's fun. It's mostly that it's fun. Basically, I looked forward to it as soon as it was announced, and I followed the instructions to basically register online, pre-order it, and then was waiting online when the window became open. And so within 10 minutes got a reservation for right now. I think they're excited about the new features, and that they also just enjoy having the latest gadget, and that's something I'm looking forward to, is seeing how it works with all of my other devices.
So I'm here to pick up the new iPhone 10, and I'm really excited about it. I was actually at work in the executive office with the CEO and CFO, and they said, "You need to be here for a meeting." And I said, "No, I have an appointment to pick up my iPhone 10. They go, "You're excused." So everyone at work is waiting for me to come back with this.
As you can see behind me, a lot of people have been waiting a long time for the new iPhone. But how good is it really? Academy of Art's own tech guy, Richard Hart, gives us his opinion on the new iPhone.
It actually exceeded my expectations. The principal things that are new are the size of the screen and the face recognition. And I really like the face recognition. This face recognition, or as I call it, head recognition, is so good. It even recognizes me when I have a hat on, see? And it also recognizes me if I have sunglasses or any other glasses on. It still knows it's me. I don't have to press a button. I don't have to enter a code ever again.
In San Francisco, I'm Alma Telenthrop for Urban Nights Update.
Apparently, new iPhone deliveries are made daily to stores, so if they're sold out before you get there, you may have a better chance on another day.
Landlords around the country are concerned over the recent numbers in home ownership for millennials. The Census Bureau reported last week that home ownership has increased 63%, the highest level since 2004. Analysts say that the trend is due mainly to aging millennials. When you're young, you have less income and usually rent. But as you get older and start a family, millennials are beginning to buy homes, leaving landlords with rental property a little worried. Today, many students have to turn down their applications to public colleges and universities in California. The problem is not the quality of their academic offerings, it is more to find affordable places to live near campus, according to the Public Policy Institute of California's annual survey. 2,000 students participated and responded that they like the quality of education, but they feel stressed over the housing which the schools won't help out with.
If students are stressed about housing costs, imagine the added stress of coming from a different country. Let's go to Sterling Hawkins and Lucius Lee to hear more about the ups and downs of being an international student in the U.S.
Hello, today I have Lucius, a multimedia student from Ningbo, China. Hi, Lucius.
Hi.
Hi, what was something you didn't expect coming here from China? Like something that's crazy or something fascinating about the people?
Almost is the same in my mind, but the only way is the homeless. Yeah, that's the experience.
What is different about it?
Just in my country, I also have a homeless, but I think not that more. Yeah.
So we have more homeless here.
I think so.
I see. What is something? How long have you been here for?
Like 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4. What is something you've learned from being in America for these last 4 years?
Actually, in San Francisco, it's hard to learn being American because there is a lot of Asian people here. Also, it's close to Chinatown. So almost time I play with my friend. We speak nature language. So that's why my language student cannot improve a lot. Yeah, but I learn here just follow rules, follow the American rules. Yeah.
And what are those? You said follow the American rules. What are those?
That's hard to say because
like how is the culture here compared to China? I should probably say
college?
The culture. So how are the people and how are the places? How do people treat each other here versus how they treat each other in China?
Oh, yeah. I think culture, yeah, it's a little bit different, but almost the same. We treat here like people treat in China. And in China, we treat each other just like someone helping me, then I treat back for thanks. That I treat my, but for here, we treat us just don't want to share the bill. Then you treat me, and the other day, my treat back. Then the relationship just grow up.
Thank you, Lucius. Back to you.
Thanks, Lucius and Sterling. Believe it or not, mumps are making a comeback. And even if you have been vaccinated, you too are still at risk. It can be spread by coughing and sneezing, as well as by sharing cups. The recent outbreak has affected college dorms and athletic teams. More than 6,000 cases of mumps reported in the United States last year were the largest in 10 years. The mumps are no laughing matter, which can cause sterility in adult males. Fitbit has been chosen to provide wristband activity trackers for the Nation Institute Ever Research Program. They look to collect 1 million people health data in the United States, and unlike many other collected data statistics, Fitbit wants to become a welcome company. The San Francisco company has struggled to retain its dominance, so has begun changing its business model to stay in business.
There are a variety of professional sports teams in the Bay Area. There's a new team that is finishing up playing its first and possibly last season. I was able to head down to their game and see what they're all about. There are so many sports teams to choose from when it comes to the Bay Area. There's a new team on the block, and they are the SF Deltas. The Deltas are a professional soccer team that competes in the NASL, which stands for the North American Soccer League. This is considered the second division pro league right under the MLS. So far, they've had great success, finishing in second place overall and earning themselves a spot in the playoffs. Somebody who's really enjoyed the ride so far is big-time supporter Andrew.
You can go to other big games and pay a lot of money, but you're not going to get this intimate experience that you have here. I mean, you're sitting amongst a really tight-knit group of fans, with these guys over here making a ton of noise, and you get to meet the players afterwards. I mean, you can't get that at MLS games.
Although there's a good crowd for today's playoff match, it hasn't always been that way. Many factors have led to this team possibly folding after just one season. The Deltas found it hard to make a name for themselves in this big Bay Area sports scene. They averaged just under 2,600 fans per game at Kezar Stadium. On social media, most complaints about the Deltas were the parking situation, cold weather, and ticket pricing. Taylor Lincoln, a supporter and wife of a Deltas player, gives her perspective.
It's tricky. The city is interesting because there's so many things to do in this city, so people have so many choices of activities around the city to do on a Saturday night.
Despite all the off-the-field issues, the players have stayed strong and found themselves as the second seed in the playoffs. With this goal in the semifinal match against North Carolina FC,
through Becker, that ball comes through the chance to shot!
The SF Deltas won the match and are now in the championship match against the defending champion New York Cosmos. For more information on the SF Deltas and to be able to get tickets to the championship match on November 12th, head to sfdeltas.com. In San Francisco, I'm Jonathan Navarro for Urban Knights Update. If you want to see the Deltas play in the championship game, tickets will be starting at just $5.
There has been a lot going on in RU and professional sports. Anthony Silva has the latest.
Hey everyone, RU men's soccer is trying to wrap up its season with a win as it battles a hot fourth-place Concordia Eagles team. Both teams were playing high-intensity defense as it was scoreless until the 42nd minute. The Urban Knights went to Jarrett as freshman Jarrett Gill kicks in a deflection and scores his first career goal in an Urban Knights uniform. That was the difference as the Urban Knights win 1-0 and will finish the season 5-12-1. From men's to women's soccer, RU is looking for their second win of the season, but the Concordia Eagles had other ideas. The Eagles jumped to a commanding 4-0 lead, and in the second half was more of the same, as it was 7-0 until sophomore Casey Childers scores for the Knights. Concordia controlled the ball nearly every single time up and down the field, and the final score was 7-1. And the women's team will finish their season a disappointing 1-16. Now the Oakland Raiders squared off against the Miami Dolphins this past Sunday, as many were considering this a must-win game for the Raiders. Oakland defeated the Dolphins 27-24 as their powerful offense was on display. Derek Carr threw for 300 yards and 1 touchdown, and Marshawn Lynch turned back the clock. He rushed for 57 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. Colin Kaepernick, he's still looking for a job in the NFL, as injuries have had teams thinking if he is a good fit. The Houston Texans are one of those teams. Quarterback Deshaun Watson tore his ACL in practice last week and is out for the remainder of the season. Head coach Bill O'Brien said in a press conference, Kaepernick's name has been brought up. We need to fill in a big hole. So time will tell if Cap can get on the field. As for the 49ers, their nightmare season continues as they are at home against the Arizona Cardinals, as they're looking for their first win of the season. The 49ers started rookie quarterback C.J. Beathard, who completed under 50% of his passes, but threw for 294 yards. However, it was the Cardinals running back, Adrian Peterson, who had himself a field day on the 49ers defense as he rushed for 159 yards. The Cardinals won 20-10, and the 49ers fall to a disappointing 0-9. The Warriors, they're back home as they host the Miami Heat. The Warriors could not find their rhythm offensively as they shot 37% from the field, but played suffocating defense throughout the entire game, holding the Heat to 35% shooting. Kevin Durant was the leading scorer with 21 points as the Warriors win 97-80. ArtU women's basketball is back as the Urban Knights traveled to scrimmage D1 UC Davis. ArtU had a tough time containing the offensive power of UC Davis as the final score was 77-34. Head coach Lene Larson said after the loss, "I think we want to really build from this game and really build momentum into the season." As for men, the men's basketball team season hasn't even started yet, but injuries have already hit ArtU. Sophomore point guard Dante Williams will miss the entire season with a fractured ankle, and several players are redshirting due to other injuries and coaching concerns. This puts a lot of pressure on the new recruiting class to step up. So we'll see what happens. And that wraps up your sports. I'm Anthony Silva. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Anthony. There are some who think that eating and shopping are sporting events themselves. Reporter Chris Petrosi attended an event that combined both things and showcased some of the best chefs in the area.
Once every year in San Francisco, the Bay Area's top food artisans meet to showcase their product at the Fall Artisan Festival. For local residents in SF, it's an event to support their local food producers and to enjoy quality food.
The food was great, getting to taste a lot of different things, lots of jams, charcuteries, everything you could imagine.
These local food artisans showcase many different products from Italian salami, pan-forte desserts, to even homemade pickles. For owner David Areth of Sonoma Brinery, he believes his pickles give you a taste from the past.
These represent what a pickle was like 100 years ago, and we're trying to reintroduce people to that really wonderful character that pickles had, so, and make them available at a price that the average guy can afford.
The annual Fall Artesian event isn't exactly the biggest event in SF, but for most of these vendors, they compete for nationwide awards. For local Santa Rosa business owner Andrea Sarnataro, her Panforte desserts are winning some major awards for specialty foods.
Specialty Food Association has an annual sort of, tasting and competition, and it's basically winning a Sophie is like the Oscars of the food world, and my hazelnut Panforte won bronze in the confections category out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of submissions, and so we're very proud of that this year.
If you would like to try some of these Bay Area food artisans, go to littleshopartisanbox.com. They're delicious and all made local, which makes it even better. In San Francisco, I'm Chris Petrosi for your Urban Knights Update.
Thanks, Chris. Watching that event made me hungry. Be sure to check out littleshopartisanbox.com.
Now we go to Linda Camacho, where she's going to give us the latest fashion update along with current trends celebrities are coming up with.
Social media is becoming the #1 platform for fashion trends to spread. I did some research and found that the amount of followers you have will calculate how many people who will actually see your fashion statement. It seems to be simple as in, meaning a lot of the youth are going with the less is more type of look. Crop tops with high-waisted blue jeans and boots are definitely making a comeback. This look started in the early 80s, the era of the big hair, a trend created by actress Farrah Fawcett. Speaking of hair, fashion trends are best described as a spinning wheel. They almost are always making a comeback. It all just depends on who you turn to in terms of inspiration. The biggest Hollywood trend is actually the natural locks right now. Whether it be on the red carpet or on the runway, stars everywhere seem to be embracing the natural wave. Stars like Viola Davis, Tracy L. Ross, Gabrielle Union, even Susan Leketchi Watson, who were rocking the curly wet hair at the Emmy Awards just a few months ago. We noticed a lot of the public gets most of their ideas from watching celebrities try it out first, which in this case isn't always the way to go. If you have a fashion trend, it's best to believe in your idea and just roll with it. Share it with the world because you never know whose attention you might catch. Starting a trend doesn't necessarily mean it has to be fashion related. Pop star Britney Spears started a trend on painting she posted on her social media. Britney Spears started to paint her canvas at home in Las Vegas simply because she wanted to try something new and playful. After completing her paintings, she then sends them off to be donated to the Vegas Cares, which is a benefit concert during which people can attend and can bid on the paintings that will be auctioned off to benefit the first responders and the victims of the Las Vegas mass shooting, which is a creative way to spread awareness. Britney Spears and inspiring others to get involved as well. Thank you for joining me. That wraps up your fashion trend update. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Linda. We've all heard of meetups and get-togethers, but you haven't seen anything like this next event. Sterling Hawkins has the story, the most recent Corgi Hunt.
Corgi Hunt just finished this Saturday. It was from 10 to 2 with corgis being celebrated from their stubby legs to their big derrieres. The event is twice a year, once in the summer and another in the fall at Ocean Beach. They have volunteers scattered throughout the small part of the beach that do sometimes small but important jobs.
Told us to stay here and refill the water for the dogs.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now.
They all have different personalities in their tiny bodies, and they showed it off with competition. And as well as dressing up with costumes like mermaids, dragons, or even cops and robbers. And they even have a little fun digging too.
Corgi Hunt is not just a place where corgis can meet up. There's also Queen's Best Rescue, which rehabilitates, saves, and adopts corgis.
Queen's Best takes care of all different types of corgis, from special needs to mixed breeds. The organization emphasizes their care for the animals by making sure all of their dogs go into the right homes. If not ready, they go into a foster home so they can get one-on-one attention. You can donate or volunteer at Queen's Best Stumpy Dog Rescue at www.queensbeststumpydogrescue.com. Jessica's dogs were adopted as well and are extremely happy. They are not what you'd expect a corgi could be.
Obedience training, agility, rally, and some other kind of dog sports. And I'm here in Berkeley to run a half marathon in November, and he's training with me, so.
There were more than 1,000 corgis there and many other dogs that took side stage as the day was coming to an end. Hopefully, more corgis will join next summer in July for more festivities. In San Francisco, I'm Sterling Hawkins on Urban Nights Update.
The get-togethers take place once a year, but you can get ready for the next one in 2018. Now let's join Clara Tilanthrop for the next entertainment report.
Let's get started right away. Recently, the singer Selena Quintanilla received one of Hollywood's biggest honors. She joined a constellation of stars on the Walk of Fame. The queen of piano music was shot dead 22 years ago by the president of her fan club. At that time, she was breaking the concert attendance records, and her albums were at the top of the list. She was known for hits like Bidi Bidi Boom Boom, Dreaming of You, and Como La Flor. Selena's family and fans attended the ceremony in Hollywood, along with the actress Eva Longoria, who said this star isn't just for Selena, but for all Latinas. Moving on to another big honor, the Nobel Prize. The ceremony will take place December 9th, but the winners are already nominated. The Nobel Prize in Literature went to the British but born in Japan author Kazuo Ishiguro for his work, the novels The Remains of the Day and Never Let Me Go. The winner himself said he was both honored and surprised after he was named, and he even wondered if the announcement was a case of fake news. Another news flash that is more true than fake. It's been announced that Beyoncé will be a part of Disney's upcoming live-action version of its famous animated film, The Lion Queen. A fan wrote on social media after breaking news, if Beyoncé isn't in it, it's The Lion Queen. The singer will be playing the character of Nala. In February, Queen Bee will join an all-star cast with Donald Glover as Simba, James Earl Jones as Mufasa. The film is set for release on July 19, 2019. From one queen to another, the Danish tennis queen Caroline Wozniacki is engaged again, but this time with the former warrior David Lee. Wozniacki announced the news in a post to her Instagram, which shows a giant new diamond ring and the caption, "Happiest day of my life. Yesterday saying yes to my soulmate." Excited fans responded to the post with congratulations. One follower wrote, "Oh my god, congratulations. That ring is pretty insane. Nice job, so happy for you." The former warrior also chose to share the news with a photo of him and his bride-to-be with the caption, "She said yes, so thrilled to be engaged to my soulmate." Halloween is over for this year and replaced with winter and Christmas feelings. Starbucks marks the arrival with a specially designed cups. This year Starbucks surprises their customers with its first colored in holiday cup. It's designed with a pair of hands holding red cups of coffee connected with holiday scenes mixed with splashes of red and green. It's also the time of the year when we think of our veterans and what they have done for the country. I met 2 veterans who shared their stories.
November 11th is around the corner and the Veterans Day is coming up. It is a day to remember and honor those people who served the United States during wars or peacetime. Nathan Goodall served for 4 years in Germany, America and Afghanistan as a 46Q combat journalist and public affairs specialist.
It was right around the economy crash and no one could get a job. Everyone had a bachelor's degree but no one had work experience. It was a good time to also serve the country, so I figured I could go get work experience, get money for college, and serve my country all at the same time. One of the big things about the Army was their original motto was fun, travel, and adventure. So to actually get to live that part of the Army was kind of nice. So Veterans Day is weird because a lot of restaurants give away free food on Veterans Day, and it's like the one time that veterans get a bunch of free stuff. So I try to go to every restaurant I can possible that's serving free food and get one thing from each place.
To Nate, the Veteran Day is more about the benefits of being a veteran. But for the veteran Manuel Solis, who served as a technician in the Middle East, Germany and America, it's more about to remember his friends.
Veterans Day actually means a lot to me. Having lost quite a few friends in the service, it means quite a bit in the sense that it's an opportunity to honor them for the service that they did to their country, to their families, to God.
For more information about this day, go to militarybenefits.info. In San Francisco, I'm Claire Talentorp for Urban Nights Update.
That was everything from this week's entertainment. We will be back next week. I'm Claire Talentorp, back to you.
Thanks so much, Clara. That wraps up this edition of Urban Nights Update. For everyone here, thanks for watching. I'm Jonathan Navarro.
And I'm Isaiah Quiroz. Have a great weekend and salute to our veterans.
Well, I think